guys, welcome back to another video. So today me and Daniel will be doing story time on how we met. So we're just gonna talk about how we first met and everything and tell you guys the story. So let's just get right into the video. So I remember meeting him one time when I was like a freshman. I went skipping to his school, but like next to his school there was like a McDonald's, and I was with a whole bunch of friends and we left during lunchtime or something. I don't know what the heck we were thinking, but we went to the McDonald's and he happened to be there, and it was like lunchtime, so he was there, but I had no idea like it was him. I had no idea.
The only reason why I recognized her was because there's a bunch of kids that went to the same middle school as me, because where I went to a middle school that either you went to the high school that I went to or you went to the high school that she went to. So a lot of the kids that she hung around with went to the same middle school as me, so I knew them. So when they were skipping and they're coming to the McDonald's that was right next to my high school when I was on lunch, I recognized a lot of them because they went to school with me all through middle school, so I already knew them, and I went to say what's up to them. I didn't know her. She was with a couple other girls from Anderson, and I didn't know them, so I didn't even speak to her. I think the only thing I remember her like having to use her or some of the other girls having to use the restroom.
Yeah, and then we went inside the school,
yeah.
and we were like freaking out because we thought we were gonna
get caught
because we were skipping. But
at the end of the day, like, there's so many kids in the school, I don't think anybody would ever notice if they weren't from our school. But they skipped school, and then I remember it was time to go back to school, and then they needed to use the restroom. So I remember telling them like, oh, the restroom is like down the hallway or whatever, because they didn't know where it was at. And that was the last time I saw her for a while.
It was scary because his school was like a little maze. It's not like my school. It was like an outside school, so it was like 3 floors, and it was like on the outside, and then we went inside his school.
And mine has like a lot of like turns and hallways and stuff like that. But that was the very first time. But at that point, we really didn't even know each other. I don't even think we knew each other's name at that point. No. We kind of just knew the people that we were around.
Yeah, he kind of came to the group that I was with,
that she was in,
and he was talking to the people in the group. But I had no idea.
She was just with them because she made friends with them in high school. So then, like, months went by. Keep in mind, I was in 10th grade when I met her, and she was a freshman. Yeah. And then I actually had a friend that I was really close to that went to the school that she went to. Like I said, our schools were really close to each other. They weren't too far apart. So we live in the city, so there's lots of schools in the city. So her school wasn't too far away, so one of my friends that I grew up with, he actually went to that high school that she went to. So and they actually had class together. So they were actually really, really close. They would like talk on the phone, and they were just really cool. They had art class together, and I remember he'd be like, "Oh, go say what's up to her," and this and that. But at that time, it was like we were still in different schools. I think
you were gonna move to my school.
Yeah, I hadn't decided if I wanted to move to Anderson yet. It was still kind of up in the air if I wanted to. But I knew a lot of people over there, so I decided to end up transferring to the school that she went to.
And then his best friend was like, hey, I think my best friend's gonna come transfer to this school. Are you gonna be his friend, talk to him? And I was like, no, I don't know who he is.
Well, at the time when I was moving, like, he would talk about her and say, oh, like, you should go talk to her, this and that. And then I remember like messaging her on Facebook and being like corny, like messaging her on Facebook. Facebook.
You know, he asked me, he was like, hey, something, I'm gonna be moving to your school. I know you know my best friend. And I was like, oh, that's cool or whatever. And then he was like, you're really pretty and this and that. And
she tried to play it off like she didn't want me, but but anyway, so I transferred into the school, and it was already the end of my I ended up transferring my 10th grade year, like the last 2 months of my sophomore year. So I ended up transferring really late into the year, so I barely had started talking to her. And then we just stopped talking because the summer went into when I was going into my junior year and she was going to our sophomore year, because I had just started talking to her when I went to high school, but it was almost summertime when I transferred into that school. So then we went to the summer, and then we just didn't talk that whole summer.
But then you would text me like
we would text, and she would like sometimes she would talk to me, and then sometimes she would just ignore me.
And then I was with my 2 best friends at the mall, and he was at the mall. Like, we went to what store was it that we were into? Disleimys. I don't know. One of the stores, and he went in there, and I was kind of shy, and I didn't want to say hi to him. So he was talking to one of my friends, and I walked out of the store, and he was like, and he texted me, he's like, why didn't you want to say hi to me?
Oh yeah, I remember that. It was Zoomies. Yeah, it was Zoomies. Yeah. And then she like totally ignored me.
I was like,
yeah, I think she just said like hi and then dipped.
Yeah.
But out. Yeah, so then summer went by. We didn't really talk. We talked when I transferred in, and then we didn't talk anymore. She would like sometimes talk to me, sometimes she would ignore me, and then we transferred in. And then the next year went around, which was my junior year, which was her sophomore year. Then we started talking to each other, but it was always like she played like hard to get, and then we would like talk, and then we'd fall off.
Yeah. Oh, and then yeah, we had Saturday school one time. And
oh yeah, so then she would start going to Saturday school, and I had a whole bunch, because like when I was at my other school, the only reason why I transferred into the school she was is to focus on school, because I was falling really far behind, which is not good, guys. Pay attention in school. But I was following really far behind in the school. There were so many distractions that I had in the other school, so I transferred into the school that she was going to get my grades back up and get back on track to graduating on time.
Yeah.
And so one of those things was I skipped so much when I was at my other school that I had to make up all these Saturday schools. I remember when I went to Anderson, I had to like, for like the whole year of my sophomore year, I had to like do Saturday school like every Saturday. So I was there every single Saturday to make up.
I think I went once to like do something.
So
I don't know.
Anytime we had Saturday school, I would like go and I would see her there. So like I would always try to talk to her. And
hello.
And so I guess little by little we eventually just started talking. We dated for a little while, and then I know like we dated for a little while, and then we like didn't date for a while, and it was kind of like one of those things where we were just kind of testing the waters. Like we got together, and then we stopped. We wouldn't be together, and like, you know, it's kind of like high school. We're kind of just doing our own thing, and then we'd get together, but we'd always somehow come back around to each other.
Yeah, and then we would kind of get upset at each other, and then our class, and he would like always walk me to class, and then whenever we would get upset at each other, we would just walk by each other, and then we would just like stare at each other and just go to class. And I was like, I want to talk to him so bad.
Yeah, so it's crazy how like something so like, if I would have never like transferred into that school at the time that I did and talked to her the time that I probably would have never taken it any other further. Like my friend, like I said, when he was at that school, he was really close to her. Like they were friends, like really good friends. They would always talk, and I would be around him and talk, but I would never really talk to her. It's crazy that like one little thing led to us being together for 5 years. Like if I would have I honestly probably would have never transferred into that high school if it wasn't for my friend to tell me, hey, come over here, like you'll get your grades together, you'll do what you need to do, there's a lot less distractions, come over here. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go over there just so I can get back on track. If I would have never made that move because of him, I probably would have never met her, and we would have never like started talking or dating. So we would have never started talking or dating. So like, and it's crazy to see like 5 years from now, like we're expecting a baby, we live together, and we've been together like ever since after high school. I thought honestly when I left my first year of high school, when I was a senior and I graduated and she was still in high school, I didn't know if it was really gonna work.
I know, because I was still there.
She was still there, and then I moved out on my own. So like, but then we still stuck together, and we've been together ever since. So you know, it's just.
And then we always like talked on the phone, and he came to come see me, and he would
like I said, we had like breakups in between like the first year when we were in high school, but it always came back around to each other. So I guess that's how you know like when it comes back around. So. That's pretty much our story. I mean, we met like the very first time we met was at McDonald's. I transferred into the high school, and then you know,
you know what happened. He fell in love with me. Hello.
And then now we're at the present time where we moved in about a year ago. So now we've been living together for about a year, and now it's just keep going with the journey and stuff. So
it's crazy how it's like. Like I've known him like my whole entire high school. Like I was with him like the whole entire time.
Pretty much, because like when I was in 10th grade, she was a freshman, and then junior, senior, like so it's like pretty much our whole high school time. And a lot of people say like high school relationships don't always work out, and it just worked out for us. Like we've still been together. You know, we still don't know what the future holds for us, but as of now, we've been together for the whole high school sweethearts.
I feel like that's the hardest time, and
I feel like once you get out of high school, I feel like you're more like when you're in high school, you're still kind of a kid, like not as mature as far as like what you want. Yeah. And then once you get out of high school, it's kind of like now I know like this is me and her, like it's our thing, and especially now we're expecting a baby. It's a blessing to have. So
yes, I'm so excited.
So that's our story, guys. I hope you enjoyed our story. It wasn't too crazy,
story time.
But it is pretty cool how we met. If one little thing, me transferring into a school, I would have never met her.
Him messaging me on Facebook and texting me, and then I would honestly ignore him on purpose.
Yeah, sometimes it was corny. Sometimes, like when I was in high school, I would say like corny stuff.
Yeah, he was
and
like,
message her.
He's like, "You're so pretty. Do you have a boyfriend?"
Yeah,
or something? And I was like, "I don't have a boyfriend." It was so funny.
It was just corny stuff, but it all worked out. So it all played out. Sometimes you just gotta message him and just go for it, guys. So
I wasn't gonna date him, but I don't know,
it worked out.
But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys liked it, then just give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you guys next time. Bye.